Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Honey and how are you? So we're going to be making this worn brick path that I have here, and you are seeing the inner workings of what happens when you wake up way too early in the morning to film an intro. Suddenly I lose control of my Joy-Cons, I don't know how to use a camera, and I can't remember any of my reactions. So yeah, this is what we're working with right now. It's okay because this actual piece of art is previously recorded, so it will actually make sense to you, thankfully. I did not wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning in order to record it. Let's get started. And please, let's just get the camera off of me now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick a base color. The color palette that I used for this is the same color palette that I used for the last elegant brick pattern that I made. The reason for this is that I wanted them to be cohesive and I wanted them to match. A lot of the reasons I make my own pathways is because I want them to go together throughout my island. I don't want it to feel like you're visiting an entirely different island when you go to different spots. So that's why I make my own pathways. Although I also do upload them. So if you're interested in getting entire sets of pathing, then I'll go ahead and I'll put the creator code down below so that you can have this. If you're using the elegant brick path, you want to use them all on the same island, you can go ahead and do that. So the first thing we're doing is we're making brick very similar to all of the brick pathways that I've made, like pretty much since the beginning of brick pathways. We're going to add some texture. This time we're going to distress it a little bit more. It's going to be more worn than anything because I'm going to do a ruins area in this island, and I want to use it there. So I wanted to go with like more of the damaged castle items. So yeah, that's the idea for this particular brick pathway. Now, I know that I give you guys a color palette, but for the sake of just personal knowledge, if you don't want to go into the photo editor, the acpatterns.com, and upload a photo of the colors you want to use and then take down all of that information, you want to learn how to make the colors in the palette yourself, I'm going to help you out a little bit. So browns and creams are in the warm color palette group, so they fall under the orangey kind of reds. And what you do is you take that vividness, that middle value, which is the saturation, and that just says how much pigment, how strong the orange or the brown is going to be in the actual finished color, and the brightness, and you adjust those colors in order to make like a brown. And if you want it to be more of like a grayish tone like I have in the darker pieces, then you move that saturation down to like 2 or 3, and then you just up the darkness a little bit so that it'll still pop out. The reason that we are attracted to these cream colors and that we find these brown tones very cozy and visually appealing is because certain color groups emit like certain emotions. So brown is part of the orange and red family, kind of the warm tones of color groups. They feel very warm and they feel very cozy. Their red is associated with love and passion, and orange is vibrant, and you know, we have got intelligence and liveliness and all of these elements that go into these colors, and that is why a lot of people find them very visually appealing. So when you want to make a brick that doesn't feel very cold and classic, you want to put like a little hint of a brown or like a reddish tone into it, and then it'll suddenly take something that's very classic, very elegant, very powerful, because black and grays are seen as very powerful colors, and it will take it to a warm, more cozy level. That's my idea with this elegant island. So whites can feel very cold, even though they're the color of like innocence and purity. And blacks are also the symbol of power, but they're also very cold colors. Like they're void of color, so they don't have color. But if you add just a little tint of brown, and it doesn't have to be a lot, like my vividness is on like 2 and 3 for some of these colors, it just adds that little bit of warmth to it, and it gives it a more cozy feel. And that's what I'm looking for in my island. I want it to be elegant, and I want it to be cozy as well. I don't want it to feel cold and standoffish and just too posh for people to actually exist there. I want it to be posh and welcoming. So yeah, it's a whole vibe, you guys. It really is. And I thought very hard about it. So that is why I've kind of gone with this color palette. Now, if you want me to get more into complementary colors, triad of colors, color wheels, and things like that in a future video for custom designs so that you can learn a little bit more about custom designs, I'd be happy to do that for you. Just let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. But otherwise, as you can see here, what I'm doing is very similar to our dirt path that I'll link above. We are just pixelating the edges. We're pixelating all of the edges all around and making them look very worn on the sides. All we're doing is taking that middle piece that we created first, and we're using that because it's very simple to do this, and we're copying and pasting it around, and then we're pixelating around the edges to create a very worn brick path kind of vibe, like a little bit of a ruined kind of path, which is what I'm going for. And that is it. That's all that we're doing. It's not incredibly hard. This is very much a path that almost anybody can do. And let me know in the comments if you give it a shot. I'd love to see it. I would really appreciate if you would just hit the like button, maybe subscribe if this is something that's interesting to you, and I appreciate you being here. I know that you can be doing absolutely anything in the world, and you chose to spend a little bit of your time here with me. I appreciate you so much for that. Special shout out to my channel members. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I couldn't do this without you. And to all of you out there, I hope you have an amazing new year, and I will see you soon. Bye.